This video is intended to describe a lightblade talisman named Fertility. Joining me today will be my whimsical stick figure chakra map, which I'll be utilizing quite a bit for visual reference of the chakra stimulations to each corresponding crystal. And without further ado, I'll be discussing the primary blade band scaffolding seen like so, right here, going up to here, this lateral band, up the side, this lateral band as well, and this conjoining band, as well as the apex band, to serve as the vaguely resembling figure 8 of the platform to recirculate the exotic combination of crystals seen here to ensure contained, efficient vibrational compound interest. I will start off with the transmutation ratio seen right here, consisting of both hematite and smoky quartz going laterally like so, up the sides, laterally here as well, then this band right here to be the transmutation ratio quadrant. So the aspect of hematite being a very firm iron-based crystal works very effectively to take all excess stray radial energies and firmly ground it through the root chakra into the earth stars and into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. In tandem with smoky quartz functioning of the same vibratory wavelength emanation effect on the auric field to once again ground all excess energy through the root into the earth stars and into the earth meridian matrix for reprocessing. So the two in tandem have been deemed the transmutation ratio, have been utilized with prolific, successful effect. So it's very encouraging to discharge and disperse any stored negativity in the auric field as a very advantageous disposition, as well as being a contingency to give a very firm grounding of all the excessive amount of crystals in this closed-loop reactive circuit to encourage making the magic real in that capacity. Hence, the quadrant of the transmutation ratio is of the essence for the primary blade band scaffolding to circulate through to encourage the firm grounding and tangibility of this entire overture of crystalline pitch. The apex band right here, well, the necklace will eventually be installed right there, has a combination of, once again, hematite, like mentioned previously, to be a very strong, firm grounding agent of this entire construct, with tourmalated quartz working as a neutral accelerant of energy with shards of black tourmaline actually in the quartz structure, just like the primary blade band seen right here. So the aspect of clear quartz works as a very nice neutral ambient acceleration of the energy. Then the black tourmaline is being naturally amplified by the quartz seen in here to intensify the black tourmaline, which is once again another transmutation crystal, quite in vogue these days, for being a black ray, once again, purification negativity by firmly energizing energy into the earth for reprocessing, providing a layer of etheric dialysis or energetic Teflon to encourage negativity to be dispersed and be highly discouraging to maintain stored negativity based on that exact disposition of natural amplification of the clear quartz with the black tourmaline, which ignites like so, which grounds back into the lateral band, then into the primary blade band, which of course is the aspect of why this platform is designated as Fertility. Starting off with the very famous legendary red ruby, a crystal of antiquity and quite vast praise in human history for being the most powerful red ray root chakra stimulant in the mineral kingdom, which is very, very conducive to intensify the zest for life and fertility for that matter. Then going into a subcapacitation of tourmalated quartz once again, like mentioned up here, to be black tourmaline with clear quartz to intensify the purification, going into red jasper. Red jasper is the most stable root chakra stimulant in the mineral kingdom and was actually utilized by the ancient Egyptian societies of antiquity to tie this exact frequency to the wrists of newborn to also encourage their healthy development, and as well as it was wielded by women in pregnancy to encourage very strong fetal growth in that capacity. So both of these red ray crystals have had great legendary lore associated with their actual metaphysical application in history. So the combination of these two essentially serves as the most powerful stimulant of the root chakra in the mineral kingdom, in tandem with the most powerful stabilizer of antiquity, to have a very strong, stabilized and stimulated root chakra is indeed the foundations for very strong fertility energy. with the strong notes of purification as a subcapacitator for this entire primary blade band to basically give the very strong in-the-body, zestful in-the-body experience, to put it lightly. So that, once again, that'd be just the blade band scaffolding mentioned thus far, which vaguely resembles a figure eight, to encourage the recirculation of this excessive energy platform in a very efficient manner for the purpose of fertility. Okay. Down the bottom right here is a Shiva lingam, which comes from India, and is a very famous full light body activator, combining the energies of earth, fire, water, and wind, thereby conferring the energy of storm. And in esoteric lore, this was the most powerful fertility frequency utilized for pregnancies back in that time period. So having a little dose right there through the entire operating system goes a long way. So obviously this will be important to say, but all these crystals mentioned thus far have been grounded to the central primary wire seen right here, which works as a main vein, so that these different various crystals generate significant vibrational compound interest as they complete its sequence. So exactly that is why the Shiva lingam is employed right there for this purpose. Then above that is the famous and legendary turquoise. Turquoise is quite literally a favorite of millions for thousands of years for very good reason in the mineral kingdom. And the aspect of blue turquoise is a very fantastic fifth chakra stimulant, yet it also works as a very powerful pranic generator for the entire auric field to oxygenate the entirety of the bloodstream, for being a very conducive agent to fertility once again. As well as it makes for a perfect blue ray antithesis to the heavy red ray concentration of the primary blade band for equilibrium. I must clear my throat quite a bit because this is a good deal to cover, obviously. Then right here would be seraphinite, which is a fantastic green ray crystal named after the seraphim archangels, which serves as a very comprehensive light body healer from bottom to top, to be a very perpetual healer of the entire chakra column, to dismantle any stored patterns of dis-ease in all their varieties. So it truly is a master healer that I employ quite religiously in this day and age in my life's work for exactly this purpose, to be a very utilitarian cellular regenerator and to be a very healing, full, nourishing auric field restoration frequency. Then above that would be a very special crystal named sugilite, which is a purple ray crystal, which is very advantageous for high frequency stimulation of the 6th and 7th and non-physical chakras, and bring a high bubble of divine light and transmutation through the entire auric field to once again be very conducive to the concept of fertility. With such a heavy red ray concentration, it's good to have variations to ensure equilibrium. Then down over here will be a very special purple variety of what's called serpentine, known as stitchtite. Stitchtite is a very fantastic purple ray, full Kundalini activator of the entire chakra column, which is very conducive to, once again, like a theme, if you would, of concentration, to heal any patterns of dis-ease from the entire auric field from bottom to top, and be a very powerful Kundalini activator, which works, of course, to bring the chakra column in synergization and healed patterns, as well as it works as another very lovely master healer frequency to encourage the healthy energy flow, which, of course, governs the aspects of physical manifestations. Then right here will be a very special gold ray crystal named Libyan gold tektite, utilized by the pharaohs of antiquity for their breastplates, which were the Magi God King's badge of office. So the aspect of Libyan gold tektite is a very profound sacrum and solar plexus stimulant, a very powerful cardinal fire energy, yet with the extraterrestrial celestial energy associated with it also is a storm energy of a full gold white light auric field enhancer, which of course, like mentioned thrice before and thrice more I'm sure, will be very conducive to the concept of making a fertility device in a talisman format, to be very encouraging to, quite simply, promote very good vibrations. Right here is a gold ray crystal named Golden Healer Quartz that is a very fantastic crystalline attunement to the source of creation, or the great central sun of emanation, which in a vibrational engineering aspect is very self-evidently advantageous. To have a direct source attunement energy, of course, can be associated with a holy grail configuration of one's divine alignment, which is in connection to source, being the optimum energy body configuration. So that'd be the blade facing mentioned thus far. So this next section will actually have this violet leather installed, much like so, for a distinct purpose, with many other crystals underneath it. So this indeed is a functional hood, far more than aesthetic. So the aspect of the violet works as a very fantastic color therapy stimulant to be a very nice crown chakra violet ray activation point to the third eye and crown, which is one purpose. Second purpose is also to insulate all these subtle stones seen in here, so that it works to condense the energy so it's more efficiently running through the primary blade band as well as the apex band to mitigate stray energy leakages for further energetic continuity efficiency, as well as a way to protect all these subtle stacked stones as they're being worn as a talisman in the custody of the recipient. So that, and then of course, once this is installed, it has a aesthetic function, I suppose, that looks like a more finished construct, but indeed is far more functional than just for looks, to put it quite simply. Speaking of the hood, I will start off with the black tektite seen right here. Black tektite is actually the product of nickel iron meteorite impacting the sand, carrying the extraterrestrial cosmic jolt from heaven into Earth. So it's a very fantastic black ray vibrational razor from the foundation of the Earth stars all the way up to increase vibrations through the entire cellular structure from luckily a foundational standpoint, which of course is conducive to one's divine factory blueprint setting, and a very versatile, useful raising of vibrations from a grounded threshold. Then, right here will be a little small piece of fulgurite, which is a product of lightning striking sand, carrying the energy of lightning quite literally. So fulgurite is a very powerful mimicking frequency of lightning that actually activates the entire auric field from top to bottom, and is very, very energizing because it literally is the force of lightning caught in crystal, and even a small dose in termination sequence. And it works very, very effectively for energizing the entire auric field, as well as increasing one's manifestations towards their intentions, such as the First Nation shamans of antiquity would utilize that resonance to resonate the frequency, to intensify their prayers back to Creator, to make it so into reality. Fun fact. Then right here will be Tibetan black quartz. Tibetan black quartz actually is part of a certain trinity of crystals I utilize together as a trio with the seraphonite, Tibetan black quartz, as well as the star argonite seen right here. All three of these crystals work comprehensively to heal the entire auric field from bottom to top and vice versa, which works very diligently to dismantle any patterns of dis-ease through the entire auric field, which of course reestablishes one's divine energetic continuity before any kind of etheric wounds or imprintations distort the natural healthy field. So of course that's why these three are always used as a trinity for maximum vibrational compound interest for very effective healing modality, just to be in the background of the primary directive. So of course that's discussing the Tibetan black quartz, which comes from Tibet, as well as the star argonite. Then right here is a lovely pink ray crystal of high lithium content named kunzite, which is a very effective pink ray heart chakra stimulant to intensify very loving, soothing vibrations through the entire auric field, which once again is very conducive to maintaining a fertile field of energy for the auric field's template. Then right here, just like red jasper, moss green agate is among the most stable vibrations in the mineral kingdom, and it's based on its particular color range and elemental green ray correspondence of water, which is a very fantastic stabilization of the heart chakra, which governs our metaphysical and physical circulation to stabilize the entire energy overture of this entire closed-loop device. Then over here is another black ray crystal quite in vogue named shungite, which is a very effective carbon-based purification for emanations, quite in vogue these days due to the notarization to mitigate 5G and all other Wi-Fi non-natural harmful wavelengths we contend with as modern humans. So just like the transmutation ratio, the carbon-based resonance of the black shungite works very effectively to transmute negativity like a filter to disperse it into the earth for reprocessing, much like etheric dialysis, for a continuous two-way patch to discourage negativity from being stored inside the auric field in that regard. And that would be the entirety of the hood section mentioned. So of course, after this video is fully notarized, this will be installed, and God willing, it will never see the light of day again, because that indeed means its function has stood the test of time. But there they are. That indeed is the entire hood section. At the very apex of this core of this device would also be another special variety of infinitite, which is another cousin to the stitchtite, to once again concentrate the frequency of massive healing capacity through the entire root chakra, all the way through the chakra column to the crown, and raise vibrations like Kundalini serpent, if you would, as well as infinitite's a very special variety that brings strong insulation to the auric field as well, that would mitigate any kind of harmful wavelengths that could dysregulate the nervous system. So indeed is a very healing, protective frequency to have employed at the very apex. And the core of this device is actually oak from my backyard here in Mount Shasta, right at the tip of my pen. That's my sacred one-legged friend. I go visit quite often for any wood I need of the oak range. Of course, oak is a very dense atomical grain of wood, which means its atomical structure makes for a very powerful foundational strengthened frequency wood range core, which is very applicable for this fertile construct. Then I'll be discussing the white crystal hewn against the oak core named selenite that's been very well concealed by many other components and wires at this point on both sides. So selenite is a very fantastic master healer in its own right to provide a very strong purification of 6th, 7th, 8th non-physical chakras back to one's highest self, which works very diligently to clear debris between spiritual guidance and one's conscious self. And through that high-frequency divine induction also works as a fantastic transmutation agent as well to burn off stagnant energy through the entire auric field from top to bottom, which is a very effective modality right there in its own right, a true master healer. But where it really shines at any given spirit tool, lightblade construct, is this particular feature. So upon this 17.5-minute rant I've had with this phone so far, it takes the entire frequency pitch mentioned thus far in a closed loop reactive circuit. It works with all these crystals to purify all of these crystals in a harmonious closed loop circuit. It works to intensify and amplify the entire context. And perhaps most importantly, works to harmonize the entire frequency pitch for equilibrium's sake. So of course that triumphant trifecta of concept is of the essence for a very effective dynamic spirit tool. To once again purify all of these crystals, to amplify or intensify, then harmonize the entire pitch is where it truly shines in any given light tech device. Then, next to the selenite on both sides, will be the employment of black kyanite. So for this section, I'll be moving my pen whimsically fast for illustration purposes, because black kyanite is the most rapid transfer energy in the mineral kingdom to encourage the entire overture pitch of this device to have very rapid grounding into the earth, to indeed encourage the magic being real, as well as being a surge protector to disperse the excess current as absolutely quick as possible into tangibility, as well as another layer of etheric Teflon to discourage any negativity from storing, lingering, and dysregulating the system, particularly in the aspect of any notions of fertility being compromised, is the high prerogative of this device. So, that would be the entire crystalline composition mentioned thus far. And so as a summary, this device has been obviously developed to be a talisman to be worn on the person or perhaps in the pocket if it's too cumbersome. And it's a very dynamic full light body activator designed, of course, to stimulate virtually all the chakras in various capacities with a heavy concentration of the in-the-body experience to be a very strong root chakra stimulant to stabilize and stimulate the fertility aspect archetype of the entirety of this device is the prerogative once again. Well, 1,000 blessings, and may the force be with us all.